move. Today we're on the Chattahoochee River, and we have some updates that we wanted to share with you. I'm also here with Rusty, in case you didn't hear that. Out here at Whitewater Creek, one of my favorite places to be. As we are out here on the Chattahoochee, though, I do want to remind you that there is a leash law. So if you do bring your dogs out here, make sure you keep your dogs leashed, especially if they are a nuisance to others, because that is against the rules out here on the national park system. So for those that are watching this live stream, make sure you take into consideration that if you're going to bring your dogs out to the Chattahoochee River, make sure you have your dogs leashed, because it is against the law and it's also against lead no trace principles. With that being said, I got an update for you guys. I recently put out a video yesterday on the Chattahoochee River, but also I put on a full form video on the Appalachian Trail. 3 tips to consider if you want success on the trail. So if you guys have not seen that video, I definitely would encourage you to check that out, because there's a lot of information inside of that video, including information around the daily schedule on the Appalachian Trail in terms of miles hiked every single day, videos that support it, but also strategy. There's a lot of information inside of that video, so make sure you check that out if you haven't seen that already. But also, I want to give a shout out to the Odd Squad. Hey, Sharp Iron Hikers, how you doing? Debbie? Well, thank you for joining us. We're out here again on the Chattahoochee River, just celebrating the fact that we just put out that new video yesterday in terms of the 3 tips to consider for success if you want to backpack the Appalachian Trail. But I wanted to put this live stream out because I also wanted to say that there's been a lot of, I guess, trolls coming out and saying, hey, you know, this or that in terms of what you should be saying or not you shouldn't be saying. I put that together as an information resource for those that are planning their hike in the upcoming year, and that was based on my experience. Now, there are several ways to experience the trail, and I encourage everyone to hike their own hike, and that video is just a reference. It's not the Bible by any means. It is just a lot of in that video that showcases how you would be successful if you were planning a through hike of your own. With that being said, other things I wanted to say about that video was there's a lot of photographs. I didn't do any video in that particular video I put out yesterday, and the purpose of that was to really show you the stills. Those photographs I haven't shared with anyone, so it's kind of like the first time to see a lot of those photographs firsthand. If you haven't seen that already, I definitely recommend checking out that video. But also, it gives a whole nother experience. Again, most of my videos on this channel have been consistently videos. I've never done any type of photo montage and things of that nature, but also there's a lot of key takeaways and highlights. I tend to make my videos almost like a video, like a music video to kind of start off with, kind of entertaining and so forth. And there might be some key takeaways and things of general information that I present in the video, but that video is really going to capture most of the key takeaways that I felt were important for anyone that's planning a through hike. So again, I'm going to keep this live stream short. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that has been joining the channel. In fact, we just hit 12,000 subscribers and we're almost to 5 million views on the channel. Thank you to everyone that's been supporting me over the past 10 years. Definitely appreciate all the kind words of support along the way. The feedback has been great, and definitely appreciate all the kind words along the way. It's been an awesome journey. Also, another thing that's going to be happening in the near future, as I am going through the post-trail session of life, reacclimating to society, I'm gonna be cleaning up my look a little bit. My beard, as you can see, is just getting extremely long. In fact, my chin is up here and my beard is, getting down to this point. I'm gonna be working with another cinematographer / videographer. His name is Ruskin Seabrook in the near future. We're going to be putting together a Q&A, but also I'm going to be doing a transformation, looking at what I looked like before I got on trail, obviously what I looked like on the trail, and then afterwards, and then the transformation. I'm looking for my next role, and I need to clean up my look a little bit. In fact, my hair is getting pretty long. I haven't had a haircut in a very long time, and I'm going to be trimming this up. If you haven't heard of Ruskin Seabrook, definitely his channel. He is a hairstylist that lives in Atlanta, but also a videographer, and he's done a lot of different videos on his channel. A lot of things were like around car camping and backpacking to some extent. A little bit of a different experience if you check out his channel, but I met him about 5 years ago through YouTube, and we did a video previously on how to donate your hair to charity. Now, my hair is not long enough to do that, and I definitely need to trim up the hair. So there's going to be a new look in the near future. Again, for those just joining us on today's live stream, I did put out a video yesterday in terms of 3 tips for success on the Appalachian Trail. If you haven't seen that already, I definitely recommend checking that out. But the key takeaways, again, if you're seeing that video for the first time, haven't watched it yet, it is definitely going to be more of a presentation mode. But the key takeaways inside of the description, make sure you check out the description on that video, because there's a spreadsheet that literally links to a full spreadsheet that showcases day by day where I started and where I got off, a video to support that information, as well as any notes that are associated with it. So if you're looking for the most, I feel like one of the most informative videos out there on the Appalachian Trail, make sure you check that out. Woods All Trail, what's going on, my friend? Thank you for joining us on today's live stream. I'm out here with my dog, Rusty. He's anxious to get going. We were just covering kind of like the best tips if you come out to the Chattahoochee. Even though we're at Whitewater Creek, which kind of has a dog beach and so forth at nature, there are some rules around here, and even though my dog is leashed at all times, some dogs aren't. So if you're planning to bring the pups, be considerate of others, even if you take them off the leash, which I don't recommend doing. Again, leave no trace principles, respect others, their experiences out here. Make sure you keep your dog's leash, especially around other dogs, because my dog is a tiny little dog. Come here, let me show you what he looks like. Oh boy. This is Rusty. Say hi, Rusty. Rusty, say hi. You're not gonna say hi to everyone? Look at the camera. Huh? He gets a little camera shy. He's not into live streams. It's not his thing. Anyway, so we come out here quite frequently along the Chattahoochee River. There's a bunch of trailheads around where I live in Atlanta. Yeah. Woods All Trail says hello, Rusty. I'm squinting. My eyes are going bad. I've actually had to start wearing readers recently, so it's a different look altogether. But we come out here quite frequently to Whitewater Creek, Acres Mill, Powers Island, Cochrane Shoals, just to name a few, the East Palisades. Woods says, I keep my girl leash unless we're alone. Exactly. George Cooper says, morning, Metro and Rusty. Rusty, you want to say hi to the guys now? He's looking at the cormorants. There's some cormorants out there. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. But there's lots of wildlife out here, and he's definitely enthralled with it, between the great blue herons and the great cormorants and some of the Canadian geese. There's lots of wildlife out here. Yes, this is a good kayaking river. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up. I have a concept that I don't want to share in its entirety, but because, again, I'm Metro, I live in the Metro Atlanta area, and this is one of the great resources I have. It's a national recreation area right in my backyard. There are tons of great places to go kayaking. So I'm going to do a little bit of a hybrid in the future when it starts to warm up in the upcoming year, but I'm also going to tie that into hiking. So if you can imagine kayaking and hiking, maybe I'm using a different type of boat, but I'll be working with a partner in the near future to showcase those experiences on maybe a different type of flotation device that you could take down the river. Sounds like a Cumberland. It sounds like the Cumberland up here. Cumberland, yeah, I was just out there actually in the Fiery Gizzard. That was an awesome trip. As you can see, the changing of the leaves behind me up there in the Cumberland, I guess it was South Cumberland State Park is the name of that area, Fiery Gizzard. We went to this 13-mile hike along one of the best places to backpack in America. It's one of the top 25 trails. And we had an incredible time out there. And to kind of give you an extent of how difficult this trail is, I was with 2 other AT thru hikers. So 3 AT thru hikers out there, and all 3 of us were like, yeah, that was a little bit difficult. The last time I was out there, the very first time I was on the Fiery Gizzard Trail was about 5 years ago with the Pinhoti Mafia. So Danny Stevens, sounds like fun to me. Well, you know what, Danny? I'm gonna see you this weekend. I don't know if you've heard through the grapevine or not, but I'm gonna be seeing you and a few other people. In fact, the Odd Squad is getting together this weekend on the PMT. I'm actually making an announcement. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. I'm not gonna say where we're gonna be at, but the Odd Squad is gonna be there. Who is the Odd Squad? Well, I'll go ahead and let you know. That is Johnny Camper. You've got Atypical Hiker. You've got Tresmo. You've got The Kid. and Tresmo. So Tresmo, Johnny Camper, Atypical Hiker, Hooter, the Kid, and Metro. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, see there? It's gonna be fun. So we're gonna be doing a live stream probably on Saturday. And what I was thinking about doing was to start off with Johnny Camper and I, like we normally do on our live streams. And then we'll put like a chair in the middle, and then we'll have a guest come on and we'll ask questions, you know, random different questions that we like to ask on trail. But hopefully for that video, everybody will bring one of their favorite camp foods with them so we can talk about that while we're on the live stream. But if you guys are looking or interested, probably around 5 o'clock on Saturday, there'll be another live stream that we'll be putting. Woods All Trail says, I do kayaking trip every year to Cumberland Falls. Did the fire like a week before you. That was a lot of fun. It says, Jeremiah Stringer is going with me again Friday. Oh, that's so cool. Woods All Trail, that is gonna be awesome. His favorite camp food is French toast. Man. So if you guys don't know about Backpacking with Jason, Jeremiah Stringer, those guys always go out and they create the best camp foods that you've ever seen. I think Backpacking with Jason's, the one I remember the most is his cordon bleu. But what they like to do is they'll take meals and then exotic meals, things that you would not think that you would take on a backpacking trip, and then either reheat them or cook them actually on trail. Woods All Trail says that he actually cooks French toast. So I'm interested in seeing how you do that. I mean, are you just reheating it, or are you actually going through the whole process of bringing eggs? I've only brought eggs a couple times with me on trail, and it didn't work out so good. Every time it seems like it was a big mess for me. So my favorite thing to eat on trail, if you guys been watching my videos on the Appalachian Trail, was hiker trash pad thai. Woods All Trail says, I bring everything. So he's bringing bread, eggs, I guess vanilla extract, cinnamon, syrup, butter, all that good stuff. But my favorite thing to eat on trail is hiker trash pad thai. That's chicken ramen, the chicken pack from, or I guess diced chicken from Walmart, and some peanut butter. And if I have some diced peanuts, I'll put that in there as well. Mix that all up. That's my favorite. Woods All says, put my eggs in a jar with cream. Oh, okay. Okay, so you actually, okay, that, see, always be prepared, thinking ahead. That's some great advice there. So he's taking the eggs, he's separating them from the egg shell itself, putting all together and then mixing it and then taking it. And he says he brings maple sausage links too. Oh man, you're making me hungry. I got to get creative. I got to go to the store and get some stuff. You know, you have inspired me. Maybe I got to come up with my own little special concoction versus the traditional hiker trash pad thai. I think I ate that every single day for at least a month straight. And man, I'll tell you, it's delicious. But the only thing I would say, you got to be careful with ramen, especially eating that much ramen every day, is it's very salty. Oh my gosh, I was so salted out. Oh my God. Make sure you bring lots of water. And in fact, of water, I recently changed out my water filter. I went from the Platypus Quick Draw to the Catadine Be Free. Let's see here. Woods All says, I'll get you right. We got to go out sometime. Texas toast for the bread too. Man, you got all the good stuff, man. This guy's living large. So new water filter is the Catadine Be Free. I got the Vecto X from CNOC, the 3 liter. So if you're watching this live stream for the first time, I did do a video on all of my gear updates that I'll be taking with me into the new year, including that new water filter I just recommended. But for everyone watching this live stream, if you're trying to get the perfect gift for any backpacker, I would say get them the 3 liter CNOC Vecto X water bladder. Now, I say 3 liters for this reason. Johnny Camper is actually who got me to start doing that in the first place. And the reason being is when you go collect water, you want to get enough water to, 1, cook your meal for the night, 2, to rehydrate, but also to replenish your water in the morning. There's nothing worse than having to get up in the morning and go get another thing of water. Johnny Camper says, thanks, Metro. Woods All says, I use the Platypus with the CNOC. Let's see here. I don't know why it goes away. I use the Platypus with the CNOC Vesica bottle. Okay, yeah, the Platypus is great. I had the Vesica, but I stopped using it. In fact, I'm looking at some of those new bottles that are out there. I use the same smart water bottle or whatever it was. It was kind of like I think it was a Kirkland bottle and like a Life Water. But I used the same one for like over 1,000 miles, and people are like, oh, those are horrible. The microplastics will get you. It's like, I get it. You know, you probably shouldn't be reusing those bottles, but I mean, the exposure to everything that you're exposed to in today's society is like, oh, this one or that one. I'm no scientist. All I'm saying is I use the same bottle for 1,200 miles. I'm still living, but maybe my organs are full of plastic. Maybe I'm just a walking credit card, as they say. But anyway, I am looking at some of the new bottles that are out there. The weight on them. Have you guys picked up some of those new, whatever they're called? I'm not endorsing, I don't know what they are, but there's these bottles that people are now carrying that have a top that removes, not just the cap, but the top so you can clean it off. Let's see here. Whatever here we have, it says, I fill a 2-liter water in my Nobo bottles and get 1 liter in the Vesica before camp. That's good. Okay, there you go. There's your 3-liter. George Cooper says, I got a couple of through bottles from CNOC the other day. Looking forward to using them. Okay, so you've got them. Okay, I want some of those too. I want to get a couple of those. CNOC, if you're watching this, I don't know if you have been watching my videos, CNOC, but I did talk about your products a lot on trail. Hopefully I can get a couple of those. Money's tight right now. I would love to get some of those so I could use them on trail as well. And then Woods All says, I got the Nobo bottle. Okay, so what do you guys think? Is it worth the money? Are you feeling like that's a good addition to your pack? Right now, money's tight for me. And again, I use the same smart water bottle. The thing that was gross about using that same bottle was the tops of it. It started getting this like black ring on it that was just like pretty disgusting, to say the least. So I would try and clean it out with some alcohol every now and then. I don't know if that was really helping or not, but Rusty says no, it wasn't. But I would clean it off as much as possible, but it got pretty funky. And in fact, if you're thinking about putting that black ring to your mouth every day. So I'm looking forward to trying those out. Rob did an awesome video on the Nobo. So that's what they're called, the Nobo water bottle. And that's from CNOC, right? So there's another one out there too that I've been seeing people use. Now, I'm not trying to throw out too much information, but one of the bottles that I liked using the most was also the Fiji bottle. In fact, Atypical Hiker, to give credit where credit is due, he came out there with 2 Fiji bottles, right? 1.5 liters. So he had bigger water bottles to start. And I asked him, I was like, yo, you're drinking that bougie water, man. I can't afford no Fiji. What's up with that? And Igneous makes the Nobo. Igneous makes the Nobo. Okay, I'll check that out. Thank you for putting that in the comments there. But Atypical Hiker was carrying 2 1.5 liter Fiji water bottles. And I was like, yo, dog, what are you doing? That looks like some super bougie water to me. And he's like, yeah, dog, the reason why I want this is because if you drop your bottle, right? What happens when you drop your bottle, guys? If you're on the trail, you're hiking, and you drop your water bottle, it rolls, right? And sometimes if you're on a cliff or down the mountain, it just goes straight down the mountain. That's craziness, right? So you got to go climb down and get it. Well, the Fiji bottle, it actually hits the ground and it just kind of slides because it's flat, right? So it's got a flat side to it. That's what people need to be doing. I don't have the money to invest in a bottle like that, but if you're watching this video and you are trying to put a water bottle together, I think that if it had the flat sides on it plus the removable top that you can clean, now we're talking straight function, right? Square bottle don't roll. Exactly. So it's got that flat side to it. And I didn't believe him, right? So when we were hiking in this one area over by Blue Ridge Gap on the AT, Maxima MGO. Okay, I guess I gotta look that up too. Danny Stevens says. And then Johnny Camper says, great idea. Yeah, it's his idea. It wasn't mine. I would love to take credit for it, but I saw it work firsthand. So we're getting out at Blue Ridge. Looks like they're having a duck party back there. You see that? All those ducks? Anyway, so when we were on the trail, he actually had a moment where he slipped and fell, right? And this bottle fell out of his pack and started sliding down the hill. And I actually saw it firsthand. It didn't roll all the way down. It just kind of slid until it stopped because we were on the ice. It was always going to slide a little bit. but that was pretty interesting to say the least. Okay, so we see Woodsall says, fell in my holder and started rolling down. Exactly, lucky if someone was there to catch it. Otherwise, you got to go down the hill. So the name of that bottle was Maxima MGO. All right. If I missed any comments, guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with it as best as possible. So again, guys, if you're interested in where I'm at right now, we're on the Chattahoochee River. This is an area called Whitewater Creek. Okay, Tiger Palmer says, not to bring the mood down, but did you hear about the 67-year-old hiker who is currently missing on the AT? Last seen at the Byron Herbert Reese trailhead. And I did hear about that. So that's a good point to bring up. So for those that have never been to the Byron Reese trailhead on the AT, it's a parking lot that's just down the street from Mountain Crossing, Neal's Gap, right? Because that's where you're supposed to park, and it provides access to the AT, i.e. leading up to Blood Mountain, right? But it also has an area that connects up there called the Freeman Trail, kind of does a big, huge loop. Now, if you are going to, and then we have George Cooper saying the Migo is the bottle Miranda goes outdoors design. Okay, the Migo. Anyway, so going back to the AT and the Byron Reese, this guy is missing. There's a trail, the Byron Reese Trail, that leads up to the AT and also the Freeman Trail. And it's pretty well marked for the most part, right? You've got blazes that you're following, and I would not recommend getting off trail in this area. In fact, there's not really that many places to bushwhack per se. So I am interested to see where this guy went. But if I had to guess where he went down the Freeman Trail. Now, if you've never been on the Freeman Trail, when you go up to Byron Reese, it connects to the AT, and you have an opportunity to go northbound or southbound. Northbound would go towards Neal's Gap, southbound would go towards Blood Mountain. And it's already vigorous terrain, right? And it's pretty well marked, and there's only so many places that you can get off. If you went down the Freeman Trail, right? The Freeman Trail is an extremely difficult, rocky terrain, especially during the summer. It gets overgrown. I've done videos on that if you want to see that, but you'll see areas that leads down to other areas that are down the hill, right? And if someone got turned around, they might think, oh, I can bushwhack down this area. I've also seen camps out there. So there are areas of let people go out and camp and live out there. I'm not saying that's permitted per se, but there are people that go out down bushwhack into these areas. And if he went down off trail into that area, there's a good chance that he did get turned around and he could be lost, because it may seem like you're heading towards the trailhead that way. If you're on the Freeman Trail, do not do that. Stay on the Freeman Trail, as crazy of a trail that is. Stay on it one way or the other. If he was heading towards the AT, again, it's a pretty good hike from where it cross-sects with the Freeman Trail, the Byron Reese, and the AT. If he headed on that trail, it is pretty vigorous, and if he cut off on that area, there's a good chance that he might have gotten lost. Also, there's an area, the Slaughter Creek Trail, as well as areas that lead to other trails out there, Duncan Ridge, and so forth, leading to the Coosa backcountry. There are a lot of places where people can get turned around. Hopefully he'll be found soon, and hopefully he didn't fall. When I was out on the White Mountains, there was people that got off trail, did a little bushwhacking, and thought they could just go get some views or whatever they were doing. If you slip and fall out there, it's very easy for you to fall and crack your head, which was what happened to that guy. So hopefully they find him. But if he got off trail, yeah, it is pretty crazy terrain, and hopefully he didn't fall and smack his head because it's difficult to get out of there. I'm an older hiker. Let's see here. I think it's Rock Sark says, I'm an older hiker and think it's important to have an SOS device when hiking alone. My wife has pretty much made it mandatory for me to have one. So that was Rock Sark. Yes, I agree with that. I had the Garmin InReach Mini 2, and that's what I carry with me. Woodsall Trail says, that's scary. Always stay on trail unless you're an experienced woodsman and know the area. I agree with that 100%. Also, from a leave no trace principle, like, don't bushwhack, man. The designated trails are there for a reason, not only for your own safety, but to also protect those areas. even if you are a good woodsman, if it's not your property, right, you shouldn't be bushwhacking anyway, because you're pretty much a guest in that area. You shouldn't be trampling along all these vegetation areas that could have endangered plants. Now, I know that might sound a little bit like hippy dippy, but when I was out on the AT, let me sit over a little bit, I'm on a weird rock. When I was on the AT, there was some areas where there was lots of protected plants, especially in the Alpine Ridge areas. So definitely stay on trail, because all of those feet definitely leave a trace, and you don't want to be part of the problem impacting those local areas. Especially, I know it's definitely enticing. Oh, I want to go up here and check this out, and you might have a secret area and so forth, but don't do that. If it's not your property, stay on the trail. In terms of GPS too, guys, I will say that I got the iPhone 16 Pro Max when I got on the AT. The GPS is Marlowe Factor. What's up, the kid? I will be seeing you this weekend. I'm giving you a shout out there, the kid. I'll be seeing him this weekend on the PMT. In fact, if you guys are interested, we'll be out there on the PMT. I would love to see you guys. I may stop in at the guest center. I have to stop in the guest center. If you're going to the PMT, you got to register. You got to put your information into the system. So I will be up there on Saturday, probably around 11 or 12 o'clock at the guest center. I'm not going to say exactly when, but that's when I'll be there this weekend. But what I'll say about the iPhone is the iPhone 16 Pro Max had that satellite GPS, satellite connectivity to send text. That was awesome, especially for sending messages back and forth. So even if you had the GPS, I found like the Garmin InReach Mini 2 was not working in a lot of areas. In fact, my phone worked better than the GPS did. But from a tracking perspective, right, it's good to have that so they know your steps and where you're going. But also that SOS function, always get the insurance, because the insurance will help with those costs if you are. Woods All Trail says, later Metro, great talking with you. Thank you for being here, my friend. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, hit the like button. Definitely helps me expose this channel to new audiences. Again, the updates were to really check out that 3 Tips for Success presentation I put together on the Appalachian Trail. Make sure you check that out. But if you're enjoying today's live stream, make sure you hit the like button, as it helps open up this video to wider audiences. And also when I do live streams in the future, it opens up to bigger people as well. So other updates we were talking about, I'm going to be getting this beard cut down. My wife was like, don't cut it off completely, but I'm thinking like maybe here. I mean, if you look at how much I got a ponytail there, and then my hair is just getting to a point where I've got another ponytail. I need to clean it up a little bit. I don't need all this extra hair, but I'll be cutting this in the near future. Why I'm mentioning that is I want to give a shout out to Ruskin Seabrook. I've been talking to him. He has a YouTube channel. He's a hairstylist here in Atlanta, but also an outdoor enthusiast. Recently he had a kid, so he's not doing so many videos, but we've been friends for about the past 5 years. George Cooper says, braid them. Should I put a bead in it? Get a glass bead and put it in there? Like, look at that. Look at that. That's a full-on pony right there. My chin is up here, right? It's gonna look like if I get it cut, it's like half my face is gone. Like, I don't know. Anyway, guys, working with Ruskin Seabrook in the near future to get this done. So there's gonna be a documentary type video. We're gonna be going through some questions such as what it was like before I got on trail, during trail, and then the post-life session, and then the reacclimation to society. For those that are watching this live stream, I'm also looking for my next role. I'm also on LinkedIn. My name's Andrew Miller. I am looking for my next role. If you guys have any suggestions on outdoor companies that you might feel I'm a good fit for, or just a role in general, please feel free to put a comment down below. Love to hear your thoughts on that, as I am searching for my next role. I would love to work inside the outdoor industry. If you guys would like to recommend a company that I should reach out to, I'd also like you to put a comment down below. Definitely appreciate any support on that side, as it goes a long way. In the meantime though, guys, I will be putting out some more videos soon. Again, the video I just put out was 3 Tips for Success, but I will also be putting out a video on Virginia, specifically, all the highlights, things to consider when you're backpacking through Virginia, and then the remaining states like West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. So I still got some more videos to put out, and I'll be doing that consecutively over the next few weeks as well. But again, this weekend, heading to PMT. I'm gonna hang out with the Odd Squad, Johnny Camper, Atypical Hiker, Tresmo, Hooter, the Kid, and Metro. And we'll be doing a live stream on Saturday, probably around 5 o'clock. So make sure you tune in for that, especially if you want to ask those guys any questions. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk at this point, as I've been talking for about 30 minutes. My dog's ready to go for a walk. But anyway, guys, just want to say thank you for all the support we just hit 12,000 subscribers. We're going, here, Rusty, come here. We just hit, there we go. You want to say hi? Whoop. We just hit 12,000 subscribers. We're about to hit 5 million views, so definitely appreciate all the support. Rusty is ready to get on the trail here, guys, but thank you again. Check out the new video, 3 tips for success. But until next time, guys, let's keep moving.